Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Yeonni. So for this week's video, I wanted to take some time to read through some of the comments and the feedback and the questions that you have left me in the past 4 weeks. I wasn't sure how far I should go back, but I know for sure I didn't get a chance to answer all of your questions and comments. I'm always so grateful when I see them, but I'm at a point where I get a little bit overwhelmed with the comments and the DMs I get on Instagram. So I'm trying to figure out what the best way is to make sure that you guys see that I'm seeing your comments, and I'm so appreciative of them. So yeah, today's video is a dedicated video on me going through. I have my iPad here that I use to edit and just do anything essentially. I'm gonna go through all of the questions and from the past 4 weeks, and if there are any that I have not answered and they're ones that could require some like feedback, or if it's a question, I'm gonna try my best to quickly answer them in today's video. But before we get into that, I just wanted to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Ana Luisa Jewelry. This is not the first time that I'm working with Ana Luisa. I'm actually an ambassador for this brand, which is so weird to say, but Ana Luisa Jewelry is a jewelry brand out of Brooklyn, New York. I'm really excited to be working with Ana Luisa again because Ana Luisa is all about having exceptional quality, long-lasting jewelry pieces and selling them at fair prices. There's no luxury markups, and jewelry starts at the low price of just $39. And a really cool thing about this brand that really aligns with my own shopping practices in a way is that Ana Luisa is all about their commitment to sustainability. They offset 100% of their carbon emissions, starting with the sourcing of their raw materials all the way to the way that their pieces are disposed. And like I said, pieces start at just a low price of $39 and go up for higher end pieces. So I really think there's a piece for everybody. Ana Luisa is currently running an exclusive Black Friday sale, and to get their limited offers, check out my description box down below. Take this opportunity to get some high quality, sustainable jewelry pieces as maybe Christmas gifts for your family or loved ones. Let me bring you in a little closer and show you the pieces that I got specifically. The first piece that I chose is this necklace. It's a chain link necklace, and I believe this was from a collaboration they did with another YouTuber. Her name is Jusuf. She's amazing. I love her aesthetics. I love how calm and just mature she is. Check out her channel. But this chain is so special because first of all, the design is so cute, but also in the middle of the necklace there is a handwritten message from Jusuf, and it says "Be you," and I love that so much because it's so simple, but it's such a cute little addition to the design. It's not just any chain necklace. It has a little personalized message from the person who designed it. It says "Be you," so all about self-love, and I love that so much. So I wear this quite a lot. Another piece that I chose are these really cute little croissant earrings. It's actually a little heavier than I thought it would be, but I like it because it feels really like, you know, good quality, which it is made out of good quality material, so that makes sense. I just like it. It's really cute. Looks like the little skinny croissant. And the third piece I got actually is also on this ear, which is this tiny little stud here, and it's such a unique design. Here, let me take it out of my ear to show you. I've never seen a pair of earrings like this. This is what it looks like. Here, I'm gonna do a little beauty guru thing. This is what it looks like, and there's a little cubic zirconia right there, and then you loop it into your ear. It's really easy to put in, and I've been wearing this. I actually went to sleep with this in my ears a few nights and it didn't come out. So you just loop it in all the way back. So here's my perfect little stack. Anyway, if you're interested in checking out Ana Luisa for yourself, please make sure to check out the description box down below for a special link for my subscribers, which is you guys. Maybe this will be a great chance to get some early Christmas shopping done. Once again, thank you, Ana Luisa, for working with me on this part of the video. And yeah, now let's get into the video. All right, welcome back from that little sponsor break. Yes, I have my cup of coffee here. I have my iPad here. Let's get straight into answering those questions. Alright, so the first question that I see here is, this comment is by Sabrina Julia Jose, and she says, I've been unemployed since March and I wanted to use my time to create content on Instagram and YouTube, and being home has given me such intense anxiety panic attacks because of the lack of things I'm doing. I want to create content, but I find myself eating junk food in bed, watching Netflix from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed. My anxiety has gotten so much worse with this empty time and I don't know what to do. I still have the chance for around another year to not have to find a 9-to-5 job, but I don't know what to do. Sad face, sad face. I feel like I'm not creating because there's no one I have to be accountable to. I'd love some feedback from anyone who might be experiencing the same thing or similar situation. I just want to validate you and let you know that you're not alone. And I want, if anything, something that has helped me a lot is to have an agenda. I tried to really plan and block out every part of my day when I was unemployed. So I gave myself like a window. I will wake up between like 9:30 to 10 a.m. Like I will. And that way I have structure, but I'm not pressuring myself too much. And then I said like at least 2 hours a day I will apply to jobs or like do job related things, whether I'm working on my resume or my CV or I'm working on my cover letters or whatever it may be. I would say it's totally fine what you're feeling, completely valid. Don't worry, you're not alone. But maybe try making some sort of like an agenda or some more structure on your days, and that'll really help you to feel really productive as well, which might help you to get out of this funk. So best of luck with that. This comment is from my video, my actual experience at NYU Silver School of Social Work. I made this video right after graduating from NYU, and Mickey says, "Hi Yeonni, I'm planning on majoring in global public health social work." Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. I would love to speak with you. I do get questions like this a lot where a lot of people want to have like one-on-one conversations and a lot of like career guidance and counseling from me. I just don't feel as comfortable because number one, I'm not a career counselor, that's not my job. And I don't say that as like, that's not my job, but I just don't want to lead you astray. I make these videos to educate, to inform the best I can. But once I start doing like one-on-one consultation like discussions, I just don't feel comfortable because I don't want to be held liable. And I'm sure you guys won't like blame me if things don't go as you plan, but you never know with the world these days. So not only just Mickey, but everyone who might have sent me DMs like that. The reason why I don't respond, or when I try to respond all the time, but the reason why I cannot have these one-on-one consultations is I do have a full-time job, so there's a time thing. I don't have really the time to do that, but also secondly, I'm not a career counselor, kind of protecting myself, a little bit of those boundaries, all right? Also, I do apologize if the lighting is changing quite a lot. It's really sunny and beautiful today in Seattle, which is a rarity, especially in recent days, so I'm really appreciating it, but obviously it's not the best for lighting for videos. I really appreciate this video. This year really has been overwhelming, and this video was a very helpful mental break. Your videos are very raw and interesting to watch. Thank you so much. I have to ask though, where did you get your blouse? It's so pretty. What was I wearing? Okay, according to the thumbnail, I was wearing my blue blouse. That actually I thrifted. This is my like tried and true like ultimate hack for office wear. This one's an outlier because this specific one I got from Nordstrom, a little bit pricey, but they were going through a sale. And I got this as soon as I got my offer letter for this current job I got, so I kind of, treated myself a little bit. But generally, like 90% of the work blouses I have in my closet are from Goodwill. Goodwill and thrift shops have really great workwear, so I would highly suggest. I think this specific blue one, it was like $7 from Goodwill. I've had it for years, and it's really great. I love blouses because it immediately makes you look really professional, and they're like comfortable, billowy, nice soft shirts. So Goodwill, thank you for asking. This is another question on my how to become a social worker code of ethics education license video. Danny23 asks, I'm so confused. I graduated from my MSW in New York and took my LMSW, congratulations, but now I don't know where I could get my school social work certificate. Hope you see my comment. Well, Danny, I totally see your comment, and now that I'm doing this, I think after I screenshot all of these, I'll just go back to those comments and write in there as well, just in case you guys don't see this video. But first of all, congrats on graduating with your MSW and taking your LMSW licensing test. That's fantastic. I am not specifically in school social work, unfortunately, but I do know for a fact that, as you mentioned, in order to get into school social work, there's like extra certificates that you do need to like apply for. I'm not sure if you need to take a test or if it's like a 8-hour training course online that you just need a certificate for. But my best guess is any time in this field or practically in life where I felt like, oh no, what's my next step? I Googled it, and Google has led me to pretty reliable answers. I think Reddit is also very helpful because it's a forum where a lot of people frequent. So there's a lot of social workers on Reddit who have their own communities. I would just highly suggest go on Google and type social work school certificate, and then you'll see all of the different websites like how to apply, What is it? Do you need it? All those things. So best of luck in your search, and that's so cool that you want to be a school social worker. So I hope that helped even just a little bit. These are questions on my The Truth About Social Work, about social workers video. This one did really well on YouTube. I'm really glad that one where I'm like really honest and just raw about the field of social work did so well. Hopefully I was able to bring you guys like a really honest perspective about what it's like being in the field. I'm getting close to getting BSW. I really want to be a social worker to help people, but I don't want to be broke. I can't really think of a different job I want. Well, let's do that one first and we'll go to the second one. So yeah, money is a big part of life, society, and trust me, when I went into social work, I was like, I don't care about money, I just want to help people, and I'm still obviously here because I want to help people. But I think once you're out of school, you come to realize that when the bills start piling up, when you're living in an expensive city, when there's rent and income taxes and all these things that you suddenly have to start paying, and if you're in a city where there's no good public transit and you need to get to work, you might need a car. Unfortunately, just the way that our society is built, we do need money to a certain extent to survive, to keep a roof over our heads. All of that to say, just because you are a social worker doesn't mean you will be broke. From my own experience and what I've realized is that with social work, it really depends on which field you're in. If you're in a nonprofit sector, there's a certain range of money that you'll get. If you work in a more like private sector, you'll honestly make a lot more money. If you work in hospitals, you'll make more money. But it's always a balance. Like money is important to survive, as I've already made my point, but also like where is your passion, where are your gifts, and like where do you want to see yourself as a social worker? You know, like don't make yourself miserable working in a hospital because that you make more money. But if you hate your life being a social worker there, first of all, what a waste of your BSW or whatever licensure or schooling you got. But also, I just can't preach that. I'm not the type of person who can be at a place and just really not love the job that I do, which is why I'm a social worker, you know? I would say try, like I said, Google is your best friend. Do some research on like day in the life of a social worker. There's videos like that on YouTube too. Different types of social work jobs. And there's these websites that maybe I'll list them down below as well if you guys want. But I'll do that. I'll list some of the best resources that I found through Google in the description box down below, so hopefully they can help you guys. But the really great thing about social work is you can find yourself in a lot of different environments doing different types of work, and also your salary can be very different. And I've mentioned this here and there. Once you get your clinical license, LCSW, let me just tell you, doors will just open wide. You make a lot more money when you have an LCSW, which makes sense because you have 3,000 hours plus more of experience. You have to take another test, and you're more of like a supervisory role at that point. So just because you're a social worker doesn't mean you'll be broke. His second question is, I have my internship next year and heard I will be alone doing it. Not gonna lie, I don't know if I can do it without training or a coworker. Yeah, I was really nervous when I started my internship as a social worker. I had a terrible supervisor, and I usually don't say things like that, but this guy just really hated his job, and he gave me clients that he didn't want to visit, which was so messed up. Eventually he quit because he was like, I'm better than this place, and then he got fired at the other place. So if anything, I know how you feel, but if this makes you feel any better, most of the training happens on site. If anything, because of all the ethics involved in these agencies as social workers, they cannot really let you operate on your, they shouldn't be letting you operate on your own unless you have some degree of training. So I learned most of everything that I know as a social worker from just kind of being thrown into things. And if anything, there should be a supervisor or some sort of a person that you can check in with weekly or even once every few weeks. So there should be support there, and if there isn't, I don't know if you are still in school doing your internship, you should talk to your school about that, but best of luck. Oh my god, I love this video. So I made a video years ago called How to Not Be Nervous for the First Day of School, and for whatever reason, well, it makes sense. Around the time when schools are starting up again, it kind of blows up, and I get all these cute comments from kids who are going back to school. And I don't know if this is a kid, but sometimes they're like, I'm 6 and I'm scared to go to school, help me, and it's so sweet. But this is Pirate Pie from 2 weeks ago, and he says, I'm going to a new school tomorrow. I'm fucking scared. I just want to let you know, don't worry. The first day of school, I think the anticipation leading up to it is more scary than the actual day. The actual day is gonna fly by, I guarantee you. I've done how many years of school at this point? 14 years of school at this point, and I get every year the first day of school, whether I was in elementary school or whether I was in grad school, I was so nervous. It just happens, you know, it's a new beginning, it's a new normal, as I've said, so it's totally normal to feel scared, but I promise you everyone else is going to be nervous and scared and wondering if you're going to notice their weird haircut. So don't worry, you'll be fine. I know this was 2 weeks ago, but I hope you had a great first day of school. More questions on this video: how to become a social worker. Nia MDK asks, I'm so confused. Do I need to study sociology, then become a social worker? Or can I just graduate from high school and directly become a social worker? Please someone answer. It's totally fine to be confused. I was also very confused. I had to do my own research to figure things out. But you can study sociology to become a social worker. Your bachelor's degree, so your first degree that you get from college, it doesn't really matter. Some people do study social work. That's a degree in itself in undergrad, and you can get a bachelor's in social work. I had a psychology degree, and then I got a master's in social work at NYU. So when you ask, can I just graduate from high school and directly become a social worker? Unfortunately, you will need to get mostly at least a BSW or an MSW to become a social worker. So you don't have to go to grad school to become a social worker. I like to say that because grad school financially is a big investment. If you can find a college that has a bachelor's in social work, you could graduate and get a BSW and still become a social worker. I like to tell people, if you get a master's in social work, it does open a lot more doors when it comes to different types of jobs that you can do. But if you are just like, I just want to be a social worker and that's that, then you do not have to get a master's. You can go to just a 4-year college and get a bachelor's in social work. So I hope that's helpful. I need a sip of my coffee because I am losing my voice. All right, next one. This is a comment on my why I won't be buying Google Pixels again and what is on my Pixel 3 XL video. Joker Tech asked 2 weeks ago, so did you get that iPhone? It's November. Have you tried Google Duo for video chat? So I said in this video that I was gonna get an iPhone because I'm so sick and tired of Google Pixel phones, but then Google came out with the Pixel 4a and it was such a good deal, to be honest. It's like a really high quality smartphone that you can get for half the price of all other smartphones. I just thought financially it was the best option to get the Google 4a because it was such a good deal for what it is, so I ended up not getting an iPhone. But yes, sorry, I don't have the iPhone. And I have tried the Google Duo for video chat. It's fine. I mean, I just use Zoom mostly for work, but I have tried it. It does what it's supposed to do. A lot of you guys like this one, my entire social work career journey and why I'm not a social worker now. Most of your questions have been like, oh please, can you do the video about taking the test before you graduate? So I heard you guys. I will be filming that for sure. I'm thinking maybe filming it and like uploading it in January to like start off the new year, like motivated, determined. So that video is coming up. Thank you for commenting and letting me know. Colleen Reed asked, would you be able to talk about online master's programs and possibly online doctoral programs? I've heard that nonprofits are more accepted by employers, and of course accreditation is a must. For my future and how it looks like as of now, my living situation would make it much more simple to work full-time and not commute crazy hours each week to live with my SO or be apart from him very often, impeding my relationship. Unfortunately, I really don't know anything about online master's programs or online doctoral programs. Yeah, but you already are on the right track because accreditation is a must. Like, you could complete an online master's program, but if it's not accredited by like the appropriate like associations, unfortunately you might have wasted a lot of money and a lot of your time. So I would say try to do as much research as possible for online programs. Like, are they from reputable schools? That's one thing. Or like, is this like a school that you've never heard of before, like too good to be true? Fortunately, we live in a world where a lot of the times where things, if they feel like they're too good to be true, then they are too good to be true. So, but I definitely see your point that it would make more sense to not commute too much to school. I get that. I mean, with the pandemic right now, I know a lot of schools are doing online virtual learning anyway. So sorry I can't be too helpful with those specific questions that you had, but yeah, you're already on the right track. Accreditation is very important. This question is in the same video. Night Owl asks, can't you still do therapy as a social worker if you get your LCSW? What's the difference between a psychologist and LCSW? That is a very, very good question. I kind of touched on it in a old video, since there's so many different pathways to be like a therapist and a mental health worker. So I actually want to make a whole separate video on why I decided I wanted a PhD in psychology rather than a PhD in social work. There's a lot of personal reasons for that, but also things that I really thought a lot about, so I don't want to take too much time of this video answering that. But you can definitely do therapy as a social worker with an LCSW. Difference between a psychologist and LCSW, just simply put, psychology is a doctor of philosophy in psychology. LCSW is more of like a clinical licensure as a social worker. So there are different roles and responsibilities and opportunities that come with those. Mine just more so aligned with being a psychologist. So look out for that video that I'm going to make, and I will answer it more. John Feliciano asks, are you okay? I'm fine. Thank you very much for asking. Jaylene Spence asked in my video the truth about social work and social workers. Are you American or Canadian? I am American. I am Korean American. I've seen Pachinko on your bookshelf for a while, and I loved that novel. I read it during quarantine. It was a beautiful book. I love your social work, new career videos. But if you have time to share favorite books, I would truly enjoy that. Okay, I love talking about books. I would love to share my recommendations. So Kari or Carrie, sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Thank you for your recommendation. I'll be sure to make that video. Emily H on my video of social work career paths asked, I'm really confused about everything. I know we have to get a master's degree in Oregon, but how do you know what internship you need to have, or how long, or how do you even get your first job? It's also confusing. Emily, I agree with you. It is very confusing. I don't know why there isn't more of like a streamlined way of sharing information on this process, but you already are kind of on the right track. Everything is so different depending on the state that you are in. At least for me, when I was in New York, when I got into NYU School of Social Work, I knew from that program that they would match me up with specific internships. It was kind of like a lottery process where you would give them your top 3, like, I want to work in a hospital setting. I enjoy working with like older populations. And like you kind of give them your preferences, and they would NYU would try their best to match me up with different like community agencies in the city. So that's how I knew what internship I needed to do. If anything, it was more like the program kind of threw us out there so we could learn as much as possible. If you go to social work school program websites, they should have like a little blurb about their curriculum and what you're expected to do as a part of that program. And most 2-year social work master's programs, curriculums that I've seen do have externships or like field placement type of things for both years. So there's that. How long or how do you even get your first job? Getting your first job as a social worker is the same as any other person in any other field. You apply. You go on Google, my favorite place, go social work jobs in whatever area, and you see who's hiring, what their requirements are, and you apply. But yeah, it is really confusing, but a lot of times you just gotta throw ourselves in there, and that's how you learn. So best of luck, Emily. In my Google Pixel 4a video, Palatoy asks, where did you get the sticker? Oh, it's my little Walter and his Starbucks cup sticker. I will put the Instagram artist right here. She's incredible. I love her. She's so talented. Her cat is amazing. I hope you support her. In my very first What is Social Work video, this person asked, Roderick Sandy asked, did you make it to find work in a hospital? If so, has the pandemic impacted your decision? I did not make it to find work in a hospital. I think that's just a testament to life, how you could really feel like your life is gonna pan out in one way, but throughout the years, as you grow up, as you experience things here and there, your goals kind of change. And I would have still loved to work in a hospital, to be honest. I've applied to a lot of like medical hospital settings, but they just never really worked out for me. And right now I am a research coordinator at a university, and I'm really gung-ho going for my PhD at this point. So maybe, who knows, I'll end up working in a hospital, but as a psychologist in the future. But nope, I'm not at a hospital right now, and the pandemic didn't impact my decision. I would have still loved to work in a hospital to serve clients. P asks, is there more macro social work positions in Seattle? I live in New York and I'm looking for more work in research. I find that New York has a good balance of direct and indirect jobs that a social worker can apply to. I would say there were a variety of opportunities that I applied for, both macro and micro social work. But there just seemed to be less opportunities, at least when I was applying. But also keep in mind, I was applying during a pandemic, so there's a lot of hiring freezes and things are just different right now. But if you're looking for more work in research, I don't know if you're interested in like social work research specifically, but research experience is research experience. Something I did is I just literally went, like typed in like research jobs and then try to see which ones would best fit like my research interests, and that is how I ended up getting my job. So best of luck. One day ago, photography or is it like a face? I'm not sure. Hi Yeonni, I really love the quality of your YouTube videos and how beautiful the color grading is. Thank you. I was wondering what camera you use and if it's okay if you share the camera you use for your videos. I use the Canon EOS M6, that is what I'm filming on, and I have an external mic that I've attached to it. Yeah, this is I think the perfect setup for me. It's very low key, which I like. I tried to get like a DSLR-ish like setup, like a Sony like A whatever that shoots in 4K and has like an external screen, and that's just not my personality. I need things to just be straightforward, give as best quality as I can, and be not too crazy to set up. So Canon EOS M6 is the camera that I use. And last question is in the Truth About Social Work video I got, and this question is from 21 hours ago, and Wajid Ul Hassan asked, where are you from? It's a funny question to finish this video on. It depends. Like, I'm technically from, I'd say I'm from Brooklyn, but if you're asking like where am I from, I am from Korea. So I hope that answers your question. And yeah, that is it for today's video on answering your questions and concerns and comments from the past 4 weeks. Thank you once again so much for, interacting with me through the comments and giving me suggestions on videos. And this has been just such a fun hobby I've done for about 3 years now, which is pretty crazy, but this has been really fun. Keep your comments coming, keep your questions coming, and yeah, I hope you guys are all taking care of yourselves emotionally, physically, mentally, in all those beautiful ways, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!